Good morning. I have another gentle yoga practice for you today. So props needed, grab a blanket, grab a bolster or a pillow, grab a couple blocks if you've got them handy. Find your mat, roll it out, find a comfortable space where you won't be interrupted for the next 50 minutes or so, and get yourself into your yoga mind. Feeling, hearing your breath. Find yourself an easy pose to start. Let's center in on our breath, on our body, starting our class with awareness. I have a quote for y'all to share at the beginning of class. So as you settle into easy pose, relaxing your shoulders, lengthening your spine, tuning in on your breath, close your eyes as well. Just feel your body and then hear my words. Do not kill the instinct of the body for the glory of the pose. Do not look at your body like a stranger, but adapt a friendly approach toward it. Watch it, listen to it, observe its needs, its requests, and even have fun. To be sensitive is to be alive. Take a deep, full breath in and feel the sensations of that breath expanding through your chest. Breathe out. Feel the breath moving back out through the nose. Allow your breath to deepen down toward the bottoms of your lungs, trying to expand all the space you can at the bottom of the rib cage. Exhaling, bringing the navel in toward the spine, squeezing the breath back out. Breathe in and breathe out. Take one more breath, just like that. And exhale completely. From here, let's make our way onto the back body. Come into a supine position on the mat. You want the back of the head to be able to rest down on the mat. Keep your knees bent, so if you've got a ponytail or something, allow that to be comfortable as your back body rests, the back of the head rests. Start with the feet slightly wider than your hips and let your knees rest in toward each other. Feel the back grounded on the mat. Allow your hands to rest on your belly and then tune back into your deep breath. In through the nose. Feel the belly rise. Breathe back out through the nose. Feel the belly soften. Breathe in deeply, one more, just like that. And as you exhale, release your hands to either side of your hips. And roll the shoulders down toward the mat, pressing down. Press the backs of the arms down toward the mat. Open the knees now, and walk your feet just slightly closer together so they're about a hip width apart. Here, lengthen your spine as you breathe in. As you breathe out, feel the bottom of the rib cage knitting in toward itself. Squeeze navel to spine. Press firmly through your arms, your hands, your feet. Allow yourself to feel grounded in your exhale. Exhale here. This time as you inhale, press firmly through your left foot. Inhale and lift your right leg into the air. Roll your ankle a few times. Bringing some movement to the ankle joint. And then stretch your right leg up and bend as you exhale. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale, bend. Bringing some movement now into the knee joint. Stay grounded through your back body. Stay aware of your breath. Matching the breath to the movement. Moving slowly but mindfully. Really tuning your awareness in to your leg, to your spine. And the next time you breathe in, extending the leg, hold the back of your leg, your right leg. Pull that a little closer to your chest. Knee can be bent as much as you need, but pull that knee in toward the chest. And keep rolling the ankle if you like. Now a strap could be used, but it's not necessary. If you have a strap handy and you want to hook a strap to the foot, you can. I'm not going to use a strap here. Another option is just to hold around the shin or the calf. And just pull the knee a little closer to the chest. Slowly work on sending the heel up, the toes back behind the head. Find your edge here. It takes several breaths to do it. When I say edge, find that point where you feel resistance, where you feel you couldn't go any deeper without creating pain in the body. So let your breath slowly lead you toward the edge, but don't go past it. Some of you might be able to hook the big toe with the pointer and the middle finger. That's a nice option here. You don't have to take it if your foot's not accessible. Don't worry about it. If you're hooking the toe or if you're using your strap around the ball of the foot, another option. You could also use a towel. These are all options. Another option here is to extend your left leg long on the mat. Now, if you get here and you feel any kind of pinchiness in the low back, then bring the foot right back to the mat. There's no need to push into the point of pain. We're looking to expand and open up space. Tune into the breath as it moves into the body. And use the breath to surround this shape. Breathing into all areas of the body. Waking up awareness in the legs, the back, the chest, shoulders. If your left leg is extended, flex your toes back towards your shin. Feel strength in that left leg. Left hand gently pressing down on the left hip, just as a reminder to stay nice and grounded there. Now, as an option, opening the right leg. You can always bring the left foot back to the mat. You could also be holding from the back of the leg. Your knee could be bent. You could be holding the shin or the ankle. You could be using a strap. You could be hooking the big toe. Lengthening that leg, stretching here. Engage through your core, lower abdominals. Navel pulling in toward the spine. Shoulders roll down toward the mat. Deep, full inhales. And exhales. Exhale, one more on this side. Breathe in, bring the leg back through center. Now we're going to lift up through the back of the shoulders. Just for one deep, full inhale. Engage through your core here strongly. Press navel to spine. Inhale as you lengthen up. Nose to knee. Exhale, squeeze. And slowly release back down. Bring your left foot back to the mat. And now bring your right ankle to your left leg. Press your right knee toward the front edge of the mat. Take your time here. Let the legs, the hips adjust to this new shape. Maybe rock back and forth a few times. And then reach down, take hold of your left leg. Squeeze that leg into the chest. And then lift your left leg. Lengthen, and bend. Lengthen and bend. Take your time here. Using these shapes to slowly stretch and awaken and strengthen the body. Using these shapes to expand awareness into the body. Breathe in. Exhale. Slowly bend your left knee. Bring your left foot back to the mat. Unstack your right leg. Stretch it up. Roll your ankle maybe once or twice. And then bring your right foot back to the mat. Let your knees once again, or not once again, sway. We haven't done this yet. Sway the knees left and right. Just letting that side go. And then take your time, setting up once again, heels about a hip width apart, back body grounded, palms pressing, forearms pressing, shoulders roll back away from the ears and down, pressing into the mat. Breathe in and lengthen the spine. Breathe out and squeeze navel in. Knit the bottom of the rib cage in toward itself, squeezing, strengthening, grounding yourself. Feel your palms, your arms, your feet pressing. Keep your face soft, relaxed. Keep your awareness on the breath, where it's moving into the body. Exhale here. Press firmly through your right foot now. And as you inhale, bring your knee into your chest. Squeeze and then lengthen and lift the leg into the air. Roll the ankle. Remember, your knee can be bent. And hold behind the thigh here. Feel the stretch through the back body. And then lengthen and bend, straighten and bend. Gently practicing extension and flexion, awareness, noticing where there might be tightness or resistance, moving slowly, but with a curiosity. Where is your edge today? The next time you stretch and lengthen the leg, you're going to hold it here. Now, option behind the leg. You could have a strap if you want. You could hold the calf or the shin. You could hook the big toe if that's part of your practice. If you're hooking the big toe, don't let the shoulder reach up to do it. Keep the shoulder grounded. And then lengthen the heel up toward the ceiling. Stretch that leg. If it can straighten, that's awesome. If it's not straight, that's okay too. We're working on awareness, deep breath. Be present in your practice, mindful always. Take several breaths here to find your edge. Now, as an option, you can straighten your right leg. Flex your right toes. Use your right hand pressing down on your right hip. Keep your shoulders grounded. If this bothers your low back in any way, then bring your right foot right back to the mat. You can still get a nice deep stretch through the hamstring and the back body with the right foot grounded. Lengthening the leg out adds strength. Opens up more space in the hip, but it's not necessary for your practice. Keep breathing, opening up space. Imagine yourself in this shape, standing on the mat, on your right foot only, stretching your left heel up, your left toes behind your head. So strong, so flexible. Breathe into the shape. Take an inhale and then open your left hip. Keep your right shoulder down. Now remember, knee can be bent. You could be holding the back of the leg. You could be holding the shin or the ankle. You could have the big toe hooked. Don't let that right hip roll up and off the mat. Here's where it's important to use that hand to keep you grounded. You want the back body grounded. Keep breathing. Keep noticing the lines of energy in the shape. Keep looking for your edges. Move right up to that edge. Breathe. Hold that edge. Exhale. And slowly bring that left leg back through center. Now we're going to take that one deep breath right at the deepest stretch you can make. And this time bringing the nose up toward the knee, the shoulders off the mat. Use core strength as you curl up. Inhaling, coming up, holding through your exhale. So on the next breath in, rise up, nose to knee. Inhale fully. Exhale, squeeze navel to spine. Bring the nose as close to the knee as you can and slowly release and lower. Bring your right foot back to the mat. Bend your left knee. Place your left ankle on your right leg. Press your left knee toward the front edge of the mat. Let your hips sway a few times here if that feels good. There's no rush to come into this next pose. Practicing a supine pigeon, where you're going to bring your right leg into the chest and then lengthen and lift your right leg. Bend the right knee. Really taking in the shape, the stretch. Good. Again, breathe in, lengthen and lift your right leg. And as you exhale, this time lower your right foot back to the mat. Lengthen and lift the left leg, roll the ankle a time or two, and release your left foot back to the mat. This time widen your feet just a little bit. Now let the knees sway left and right. Might feel your hips rising up a little bit on this twist. That's okay. Feels nice. Really gently releasing. We're going to bring our legs into the air next for legs up the wall. We're going to do a little bit of core strengthening here. We just did a lot of hip stretches and hamstring stretches. So we're going to come into legs up the wall. Legs up the wall is exactly like it sounds. We're not using the wall, but we do that sometimes. Legs up the wall, back body grounded, hips grounded, then your legs float up. Now, knees can be slightly bent. Keep that in mind always. That's your modification if you're feeling pain in your low back or if your hamstrings are just not flexible enough to lengthen and straighten your legs into the air. It's okay. We'll get there. That's why we practice. So once again, rolling the ankles here. It's really good for the feet, for the legs, to be lifted and elevated above the heart. And as we move the ankle joints here, we're just breaking up some synovial fluid, opening up space. We're lightening the load that our feet and our legs hold all day long, carrying us around. giving them a bit of a break. This pose is just this huge list of benefits for the body. I highly recommend you practice this pose on a daily basis. You can practice legs up the wall. You can practice in the middle of the room. You can practice on a sofa with your legs extended up. This is a pose that it just benefits your cardiovascular system, benefits your immune system, your respiratory system, benefits your digestive system, helps with insomnia, helps with stress and anxiety, helps with varicose veins and osteoporosis. Like I said, the list is huge. So just know that if you're doing this, you're doing good for your body. All right, I said something about core strength. We're getting there. I just wanted to enjoy this for a little bit. Adding the core strength practice into this shape. Shoulders pressing, palms pressing. You're gonna have options here like we always do. We're gonna start with the right leg. I'm gonna show you the modification to start. You're gonna bend that knee, take a deep inhale. As you exhale, with the bent knee, let the toes reach out toward the mat, and then inhale the leg back up. Exhale, reach until your toes touch. Inhale, back up. Keep moving here, not switching sides. If you want to try the non-modified version, leg lowers all the way down and then comes back up. Exhale, lower. Inhale, back up. If your breath is moving in the opposite way, you're inhale, lowering, exhale, back up, stick with what works for you right now. Just let the breath match the movement. Stay grounded through the back body and feel your core strongly engaged. Pelvic floor muscles engaged, lower abdominals engaged, core lock engaged. Stay grounded through your fingertips, your arms, your shoulders. Don't let them creep up here. But keep your face soft. All right, we're going to take 2 more on this side. Lowering and lifting, lowering and lifting. Was that 2? All right, 1 more. And bring that leg back up. Roll your ankles again. If you need to release a little bit, you can always squeeze knees to chest in between sides. Then set up again. New side, new work. Set your intention to strengthen, to build some heat. Remember your modification, we'll start with that. The left knee bends. You're going to inhale and then exhale as the toes reach out, touch the mat. Inhale back in. Exhale. Inhale in. You can stay with this modification with the knee bent, especially if you're feeling it in your low back. That's when I recommend it the most. Or bring the whole leg all the way down, hover the floor and bring it back up. Or stretching, using core strength to lift that leg. And keep your right leg lifted, just floating in the air. So good for your body to practice this. And your upper body can be, you're grounded, but you're relaxed through your shoulders, the back of the head. Keep your core actively engaged. Feel the work in the low belly as the leg lifts and lowers. And feel your breath empowering the movement. Our breath is a powerful force. We can be energized by our breath. But the breath is powerful in a way also that helps us soften and relax. Let this practice help you tune in to the power of your breath. Let's do 3 more. Lowering and lifting. Good. Bring the legs back up. Make those circles again. Let's do some little scissors. We're going to open the hips here. So you're going to turn so your heels are closer to each other. This is really kind of a Pilates thing. I've done some Pilates class before, but it's really good for you. So the heels are close to each other. And we're just going to scissor the heels in and out, like little ballerina feet, in and out, in and out. Now, options, you can stay right here, just scissoring, reaching up toward the ceiling, or you can let your legs lower 30 degrees as you scissor, and then bring them back up. Let's see if we can go 60 degrees this time. Does it look like 60? It feels like 60, but it might not look like it. It's probably 45. Do the best you can. Don't feel it in your low back. Don't feel the low back come off the mat. Don't feel any pinchy or crunchiness there. That defeats the purpose. We don't want to practice something that injures something else. Like that's, we're strengthening the hips and the core just to sacrifice our back. What? Wrong. We want to honor our body with our practice. Every part of our body. One more time, scissoring the legs, lifting and lowering. And then bring knees to chest and squeeze. Make some circles on the mat, massage the back body. We are going to rock up to a seat on the mat here. So spinal rolls are an option. If you don't know what spinal rolls are, it's rocking up to the sit bones, back to the shoulders, massaging the back as you do so. If that doesn't feel good, stay on the mat and make those little circles. But if it feels okay to rock back and forth, try it. And then one more time, rocking back and come to a seat on the mat. Stretch. Find easy pose for a moment. Also find your blanket. Let your hips settle in easy pose and just release softly. Tune back into your breath in this upright position. Lengthening. Let's take a few circles in our easy pose. Just to once again massage into the hips. Give them some love. They're just working pretty hard. And circle the opposite way. And from your easy pose, we're going to shift into all fours. And you may also, I've got blocks handy. You might want to have some blocks handy. Just, you might not. Blocks are a nice option to support shapes. They help make your arms longer. Sometimes they help support our back. They enable us to practice poses. So I consider them enablers. All right, so you're going to position the blanket on the mat so it supports your knees. And then you're going to come out into all fours. Hands directly under your shoulders, knees directly under your hips. We're going to round and arch the back body for a few cat-cows. As you breathe in, widen through your collarbones, shift your gaze up, send your sit bones up, and let your belly sink. Cow. As you exhale, tuck chin to chest and round the back body, send your sit bones down for cat. Breathe in and stretch the core. Breathe out and then stretch the spine. This dynamic movement, so good for the health of your back body. So good for your core. want to be strong and flexible, well balanced in your back. Exhale through cat one more time. And then inhale, find your neutral spine. We're going to come into a kneeling lunge here. So this is where your blocks might be a nice option. You can set your blocks up on the front edge of the mat, and then you're going to bring your right foot between them. Help it up there with your right hand as needed. Your blocks help make your arms longer, so keep that in mind as an option here. You're going to send your hips forward and down. Keep your spine nice and long. Keep your core engaged, lifted. You could also come up to the higher side of the blocks. Oh, lift up a little higher. If you're feeling really good here, you could press the front thigh. Scissor the inner thighs toward one another in this shape. Feel grounded through the front foot, the back leg, and breathe. Inhale. As you exhale, bring the hands back to the blocks if they're not there. Now walk the blocks with you. We're going to come into a half split. Your hips are going to come back so that the left hip is stacked on top of the left knee. Then let your right leg stretch and lengthen. And lengthen the back body out and over your right leg. Your blocks can be on the high side, the low side. But breathe. Flex your right toes back toward your shin and really lengthen. Feel this in the back of the hamstring and the hip. Bringing the nose down toward the knee. Keep the shoulders soft. Keep the spine long. Take one more deep breath in. And exhale. And slowly bring your foot back to the mat. And bring your right leg back underneath you. Reposition your blocks as needed. And before we switch sides with the legs, let's take a few circles. Just circling, letting the shoulders and the hips feel this release. And set up for the opposite side. Your left foot's going to come between the hands up toward the blocks. Use your left hand to help it up there. And then left foot grounded. Let your left knee bend, tracking your left toes. Notice something here. If in your kneeling lunge and your foot's not very far forward, your knee bends and it goes way past your toe and your heel's up, reposition your foot a little further out. It's not going to hurt your knee in this pose to go past your toe, but it's really not good form. And you can get a bigger stretch through the top of the hip if you inch your foot further out. Your blocks are there to make your arms longer so that you can lengthen up. Feel a nice deep stretch through the right hip, your psoas. Remember, you could use the high side if you want. But scissor inner thighs toward the midline. Really ground down through the front foot, the back leg, and if you want, press the front thigh. Widen through the collarbones. Open space in the chest here. Practice breath, awareness. Let the breath surround the lines of this shape. Feel your edges here. Feel the breath moving deeply into the chest, down to the bottoms of the lungs. Feel the strength of your legs. Keep breathing. Inhale. And slowly find your blocks and lower them again. We're going gonna lengthen the left leg long. And now think about bringing your right hip back to stack on top of the right knee. And then stretch your left heel further toward the front edge of the mat. Straighten that left leg as much as you can. And then not rounding into the stretch, you're lengthening. Send your heart space out and melt nose down toward the knee. Every breath in, stretching the crown of the head toward the toes. Every breath out, folding nose down toward the knee. Breathing deeply. Your blocks are here to support your pose. You don't have to be using them. Your hands can be on the mat. There are options. So use the blocks to enable these shapes or don't. But keep in mind, want to hold and sustain the shapes and open up space. We don't want to force anything. We don't want to force our body into something it's not ready for today. Be sensitive to the needs of your body while being curious, while challenging yourself. Breathe in, breathe out. Slowly bend your left knee again and bring your left knee back to the mat. And then let your hips sway left and right a few times. We're going to rise up and practice a back bend. We're going to practice Camel Pose. You don't need your blocks for Camel Pose. Well, actually, you could use your blocks for Camel Pose. Just kidding, I'm going to give you an option. Your blocks will come by your heels if you want to use them for Camel Pose. You don't have to. Keep that in mind. They're just there as an option. I'm going to give you several options. All right, so starting in Camel Pose, you want hips stacked on top of knees. You want knees in line with your hips. You don't want them too wide. You want shoulders starting off stacked on top of hips, but they're not going to stay there. They're going to move. Hands, bring them to the low back as if you're putting them in your back pockets. And then squeeze shoulder blades together behind you. Squeeze the elbows together. Widen and open up space through the chest. Take a deep breath in. As you breathe out, engage through your core. Pelvic floor muscles nice and strong. Lower abdominals are strong. We're going to arch open to a back bend here. Arching open means shifting, shoulders squeezing, lifting the heart space. Your chin can stay in line. Your head and neck can stay in line. You do not have to let it drop back. Your gaze is out in front of you. Use your hands to support the low back. Options. If you want to go deeper, your hands could reach back and find those blocks. But keep your hips pressing forward. Your gaze could shift up or even back to rest on the backs of your shoulders. If you want to go a little bit deeper, your blocks could be on the low side. Your blocks, you could bring your hands to your heels as another option. Coming out of this pose slowly. Hug navel to spine. Bring the chin back toward the chest. Find a neutral spine. Pause here. Take a few breaths. We're going to practice a pose called Zee Pose, which is a core strengthener. It's also really good for the fronts of the quads and the hips. It's going to balance our core back out from that big back bend. Arms reach out in front of you, palms facing down. Strong through your pelvic floor, strong through your core. Here we go, Zee Pose. You're gonna lean back, shoulders, but try to keep this strong line of energy from shoulders, hips, and knees. You're just leaning back to the shape of a Z. You're gonna feel this big time in the quads, the core. Breathe deeply. You control how far back you lean, so don't go so far back that your knees are not having it. Trying to hold this shape as long as we held our camel. Breathe in, breathe out, and rise back up. Bring the hands to heart center, pause, and breathe. We're going to come into Child's Pose next. Your hips are going to come back onto your heels. And then you're going to let your upper body reach out. Palms pressing down, forehead coming down. You could use a block or bring it right to the mat. Stretch and release into this pose. Let this pose reset your spine, help you tune back into your breath. Remember our quote from the very beginning of class. Do not kill the instinct of the body for the glory of the pose. One more deep breath in, and exhale. Slowly, we're going to make our way all the way onto the belly. So you might not want the blanket underneath you. You can move it to the side. And come forward on the mat. Release down into Crocodile Pose here. Stack your hands, forehead to your hands, and take a few breaths. And exhale. We're going to practice one more back bend here. We're going to bring our arms underneath us and practice Sphinx Pose. In Sphinx Pose, your forearms are grounded. Your elbows are under the shoulders, and then your forearms are parallel. So your elbows are about a forearm's width apart. So if you reach over with one hand, you should be able to hold your elbow. You don't want them too wide. You're pressing through your palms, and then you're lengthening and lifting up through the heart space. If you get here and you feel this is really pinchy in your back, slide your elbows a little further out. Take some of that pinchiness out. We don't want to kill the instinct of the body for the glory of the pose. Now, if it feels good to be here and you're pressing and arching up, your hips are grounded, but you're feeling strong, I'm going to give you an option to go a little bigger. You can widen your hands a little bit and then stretch up to Seal Pose. Feel the open expansion of the bottom of the rib cage here, but don't let it feel pinchy or wrong through your back body. Be where you need to be here. Tune into your breath. Keep the shoulders far from the ears. Take one more deep breath in. If you're in seal pose, bring your elbows back down. And everyone now, widen your elbows again. Bring your forehead back to your hands and practice crocodile. Breathe into the back body. Breathe out and soften. One more deep breath here. And exhale. And slowly bring your hands underneath your shoulders. We're going to press back up and stretch back into your child's pose. And from child's pose, we're going to set up for a final pose, relaxation. You have the option to lay long on your mat. You have the option to grab your bolster and put it under the knees, which feels really nice. You can also grab your blanket and let your head rest on the blanket, or you could grab your blanket and cover yourself up with the blanket. You could lay long. If you're long on the mat, let your palms turn up by the sides. And tune into your breath once again. Let the breath soften you here, relax you. Not trying to be empowered by the breath. We're not trying to strengthen anything here. Not trying to stretch anything here. Trying to let everything reset. Relax completely. Try to find stillness in your physical body as you relax into this shape. And then try to find stillness in your mind. Just letting go of any thoughts that are heavy. Just let the thoughts just travel lightly. Relax completely. You're breathing deeply, but you're not focusing too hard on anything. Let your face, your jaw relax. Let everything feel light and soft. Very slowly, take your time. Notice your breath. Bring gentle movements to your fingers, your toes. Stay in this soft, restful place. Slowly breathing awareness back into the body. Bring one knee to your chest and then the other. Roll to your right side. Rest on your right arm. Take a moment in sideline child's pose. Pause here. Do not look at your body like a stranger, but adopt a friendly approach toward it. Watch it, listen to it, observe its needs, its requests, and even have fun. To be sensitive is to be alive. That quote's from Vanda Scaravelli. Make your way back to easy pose or hero if you prefer. Just tune into your breath. Bring your palms to press at heart center. Take a deep breath, expanding space once again. And then exhale, squeezing navel to spine. Breathe in this time, circling the arms, stretching the side body, reaching the fingers. Feel the palms press the top of the inhale. And as you exhale, watch the hands travel right back to heart center. Namaste.